Hey there boys and girls, Densky here and welcome back to another Overwatch video. Today I want to explain why you as a global elite in Counter-Strike Global Offensive can reach Grandmaster in Overwatch. So let's get right into it. So the original question came from a video by a guy called Nathan, so I'll link his video in the description down below. Essentially one of his viewers asked why he as a global elite in CSGO cannot reach Grandmaster in Overwatch. Based off that question, he did some research to answer them. Now, currently I'm in Diamond in Overwatch, however I also got to Global Lead in CSGO. So I want to share my opinion on his points and how you actually have to look at both games in order to transfer your skills between each other. The first point that came up was ultimate usage, which for sure is not in CS as it is in Overwatch. So he mentioned that on forums, CS players would complain about getting free kills by hitting Q and are more used to strict gunplay, meaning the best aim wins. Now, since I partly agree with that, there's actually a concept in CSGO which is exactly that in Overwatch, and that would be economy. In CS you're always bound to your money, which will determine what kind of weapons and equipment you'll be able to take into the round. The economy is basically ultimates in CSGO. You have to constantly keep track of it, you have to plan your next attack based on it, and you essentially also get easy kills when going up against unarmored opponents with full equipment and way better weaponry. So this is my first tip. Treat ultimates the same as the economy in CSGO. If you're doing well, your ult will charge up faster. Similarly to how when you win rounds and do better, you also get better equipment faster. So make sure to keep track of it in the same way and don't go up with a Glock versus an AWP, for example. Or better said, with no ults against 6 of them. His second point was about team positioning. The main claim here is that in CS you go off solo by yourself or with 1 or 2 teammates at max. And for the most part you go for solo kills, whereas in Overwatch you fight more in a clump in a team fight. Now in CS, depending on if you're a CT or AT, you have multiple options to go about engaging in a round. You can play for picks, basically covering contact points and trying to win aim duels, which I think is the thing that is mostly being referred to in his explanation. However, you can also execute different splits, goes, rushes, all of which are done together or in a attacking, flanking group fashion kind of. Going off solo will also usually get you killed in CS no matter what side you play, since having the man advantage is always what you are trying to establish first in CS, same as in Overwatch. Having more men at your disposal is usually dipping the odds in your favor. The big tip here again is in CS you do not necessarily have heroes, but you do have certain roles, and same as in CS you want to have fitting positioning based on your role/hero, so make sure your hero pick does fit with what we are trying to do based on your team. For example, Tracer, Pharah, Genji are good for flanking, while Widow might be good for entry fragging, and a tank like Reinhardt is essentially a smoke grenade creating space for the team to push in or to block it off. The third point is talking about something McCree's versus Widows and vice versa, and in CS there's only hit scan, so understandably heroes making use of said feature will be more familiar with someone coming from CS. However, yes, I agree with a part of this point. In the beginning, Overwatch will feel like a bullet sponge, just because the time to kill or short TTK are very different. While in CS you can one-shot headshot everyone with a medium-priced AK, in Overwatch you have characters that just cannot be one-shotted and can be healed on top of that as well. So you really have to get used to this mechanic. It kind of feels like going from a tap only to bursting or spraying only. However, you won't have trouble hitting small hitboxes, since hitboxes in CS are usually rather small and the same size anyways. You, however, will have large hitboxes again that will make high HP targets harder or better said easier to hit. The tip here is again not trying to directly transfer your skills, but rather to get used to another TTK. Overwatch is fast paced in a different sense as CS due to that, so just keep playing and you'll get used to it fairly quickly. The fourth and last point was about team coordination, when to engage and when to disengage. The main point here again was about ultimates being coordinated, when to use which ultimate in what team fight and when to execute them. Our counterpart in CS to take skill from that is essentially the same, but team fights are rounds in CS, and again the economy represents the ultimates. Just as you do in CS at the beginning of a round, you will do in Overwatch before a team fight. You'll coordinate and develop a strategy or tactic to execute. The difference here is that a lost team fight is the same as a lost round, so if your team is dead you can't usually clutch unless you have like better weaponry, ultimates depending on how many enemies are left. This means you should retreat and plan the next round or team fight, which essentially describes the same team coordination just in a different environment. Also, also the comparison with calling out someone, in, for example, someone's drop, as being a misplay is slightly off, since that is just a position they're holding, similar to a hero callout, for example. So essentially, if you want to transfer your skills, you want to plan your attacks as you always do, but make sure to read up on hero abilities and ultimates first, so you know what you go up against. Solo kills in CS are just as rare as they are in Overwatch, unless you're flanking a lot maybe, or well, something like that. The point here is that, again, in CS you can do more by yourself due to the faster TTK, while in Overwatch you want to make sure to be able to hit multiple shots or learn combos for certain heroes, similar to like you would learn how to flick shot and how to control your spray. It's just something that you have to put time and effort in until you master it mechanically, as well as from a knowledge point of view. So I hope this video helped to clear up some of the confusion. If you know where to look, you can see many similarities between the two games and how to play them. The biggest difference is probably the variety in game modes, in my opinion, which also have to be mastered first, in the same as you did with normal bomb defusal or even hostage maps in CS if you're playing them. But I think it's pretty much all for now, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and then ski out.